Parliament, as we all know, has 137, 137, and 8138. There are certain provisions in the Constitution that governs Parliament. Those are the only real provisions that are binding on Parliament. Parliament also has standing orders, but the standing orders are Parliament's own rules. They can change it over and over again. One is not even able to sue Parliament on standing orders. Where you can sue Parliament is if they have done something that is in contravention of the 1992 Constitution. So the provisions of the Constitution are the provisions that are binding on Parliament. Now let's look at why we have this confusion. There's 137, 137. The law says that the issue is about who can vote and who can be counted. It is this matter that has been raging in Parliament for the last 3 weeks, because there's a speaker who is an independent umpire as far as the laws are concerned. And then there are 2 deputy speakers who are members of Parliament and who continue to be members of Parliament even when they become speakers. So I'll show you the 2 sides, why each side is complaining and what the case of the NDC is and what the case of the MPP is. So let's go to Article 102 to start the process. So we know we've done this already. I'll run through quickly. A quorum of Parliament, apart from the person presiding, shall be 1/3 of all the members of Parliament. This one is not in contravention. It's not in controversy, I should say. This is not in controversy because everyone understands that a quorum is 1/3. Either side of the House is able to achieve 1/3 on their own. So this is not problematic. NDC can achieve 1/3 on their own. MPP can achieve 1/3 on their own. Especially the MPP, they need that. So 1/3 for a quorum, that is a quorum for parliamentary business to occur. There's no concern about that. The problems begin when we look at this one, 104. And it says, voting in Parliament. This is where the whole fight is. Except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of the majority of members present and voting, with at least half of all the members of Parliament present. So half must be present. All of the half need not vote. The number of people who vote, the majority will be determined from the number of people who vote. Let's read it again. Except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of the majority of members present and voting, with at least 1/2 of all the members present. Now, how do we count the 1/2? Let's move on. Let me show you something. Okay, this is also another part that is stoking a lot of controversy. 104.2. The Speaker shall have neither an original nor a casting vote. The Speaker of Parliament shall have neither an original or a casting vote. So I'll tell you what the problem here is. This itself is not problematic. The definition of speaker here is where the issues are coming up. Who is the speaker? Now, the MPP side and their lawyers will make an argument that the speaker in 104.2 is reference to the speaker, as they say, qua speaker, the speaker himself, the original speaker, Alban Bagbin. That the reference to speaker here refers just to Alban Bagbin. It does not refer to a deputy speaker because, as they will tell you, where the Constitution wants to say deputy speaker, it says so. That's a basic rule of interpretation. That where in the same document, a legal document, the reference has been made to an office, say a deputy speaker, and where in another part of the law it says speaker, it means that the reference to speaker is not the same as reference to deputy speaker, neither and vice versa. Reference to deputy speaker is not the same as reference to speaker. So the MPP and their lawyers are frantically arguing that the speaker here should be understood as the original speaker only, excluding the first deputy speaker and the second deputy speaker. That's the point they're making. If you read it again, you see that the speaker shall neither have an original nor casting vote. So if you replace the speaker with deputy speaker, it should read, a deputy speaker shall neither have an original nor casting vote. But the MPP's argument is that no, because in the counting process, in the counting for a quorum, it says a quorum of Parliament apart from the person presiding. So in the count of a quorum, the law excludes the person presiding. In saying the person presiding, the law doesn't say speaker. It says the person presiding. They will tell you that for the law to say a person presiding, it means anyone who is presiding. Therefore, that this 102 refers to the speaker, deputy speaker, first deputy speaker, and the second deputy speaker. It refers to both of them when it says a person presiding. However, when you come to the exceptions, it says the speaker. It doesn't say the person presiding. It says the speaker shall have neither an original nor a casting vote. So what's an original vote? An original vote is that in certain parliaments, the speaker is given the right to vote. Either originally or in most parliaments, the speaker is given the right to have a casting vote. That casting vote means where there's a tie in the vote, the speaker is allowed to vote in certain jurisdictions. Quite clearly, in Ghana, that privilege was to be excluded from somebody called the Speaker. The question is, when it's excluding the Speaker, does it also exclude the first deputy and second deputy Speaker? And then this one is also important. This is also very, very important. It says, where the votes on any motion are equal, it shall be taken to be lost. Where the votes on any motion is equal, it shall be taken to be lost. So if the vote on the E-levy comes out as 137, the vote is taken to be lost. That's the important. That's what this one says. So these two, 104, 2 and 3, is the reason why there's fights in Parliament. So I'll tell you the story of what happened. So what happened? The story is simple. E-levy has to be passed as an act of Parliament because it's an introduction of a new tax. So it's okay that it's in the budget policy, it's been announced by the budget, but it has to be passed as a bill. And so that's where the problem is. So it has been read the first time, as Parliament has 3 readings. Then it goes to the Committee of Finance for them to look at it. They looked at it, and at the committee, they were divided along party lines. 13 of the NPP majority, 12 NDC majority. And then they recommended it to the House. It was recommended to the House. Now, it was expected that Mr. Bagbin, the Speaker, will sit. When Mr. Bagbin is sitting, and the NPP have all their numbers, any vote that he puts, if they vote strictly according to party lines, they're going to cast 138 votes in favor of what they are presenting, and NDC is going to cast 137 votes. If the vote is recorded as such, the bill will be carried. Okay. So, but that's when Mr. Bagbin is sitting. What occasioned last night's confusion is that at some point, Speaker Bagbin was unable to sit. And so he exited the chair. And then Joe Wise took the chair. And then conversations and arguments were going on. He took the chair. As soon as he took the chair, he announced that he was going to do a count to be sure that they have enough numbers for voting to occur. And after the count, he will ask for a vote. He added that when the vote is taking place, he is announcing to members that he, as the sitting deputy speaker, is entitled to vote. So that's where the problem started. So the NDC began to smell a rat. But there's legal opinion that supports Joe Wise, that as deputy speaker is entitled to vote. But by what mechanism is he going to vote when he's sitting in the chair? Because if you are sitting in the chair, you really have to come down to vote. If you come down, you are not in the chair. If you get out from the chair is empty. Okay, so this is what was decided. And this argument has been going on for a while. I mean, lawyers have been talking about how this can happen for quite a bit of time. Over the last 2 months, there's been all of these arguments. So both lawyers on NDC and NPP side have heard about this argument and have heard about this proposed solution to be able to achieve 138 even if Speaker Bagbin is absent from the chamber or even if Speaker Bagbin is not presiding. NDC lawyers knew about it. Okay, so then they began to see that, look, this matter that they've been told about is about to be implemented, isn't it? Okay, so Joe Osei-Wusu, presiding, then calls for the vote. The vote is going on. It is believed that 137 NDC cast their votes against the motion and 137 MPP cast their votes in favor of the motion. Then Joe Osei-Wusu says, I have to stand up at this stage. I will be replaced by a second deputy speaker who has already cast his vote. NDC begin to see that, look, he is going to get down, whereas the other speaker has cast his vote. Whereas his vote will be retained to be part of the count, Joe Osei-Wusu is going to cast a vote, and that will mean that there will be 138 votes in favor of the E-levy, the bill, and there will be 137 votes against. When the count is pronounced, the E-levy would have been carried. So, to prevent that from happening, the NDC decided that, look, they will not allow it. They are the champions, and this is what happened. Have a look again.
The second deputy speaker to take the chair.
This is what happened. This is what happened. Yeah, this is what happened. Yeah, so you can see, preventing the second deputy speaker from taking the chair to allow the first deputy speaker to go back and to take his seat as a member of parliament, in which case he'll be able to cast his vote. This is what happened. This is the confusion that occurred in Ghana's parliament last night. This is it. This is how serious the matter is. This is what happened. Imagine that. Confusion. Videos. We got it from Joy TV, I think. It's one of the best videos of the capturing the event. I'm not sure about the gentleman in the blue, whether he's part, because the fight is going on behind him, and he's sort of looking at the camera and, wow, okay, okay. So that is what. So that is what happened. That's what happened in the Parliament, and that's what brought about the confusion yesterday.